Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. Guys, I am absolutely shocked. I can't believe it. And I got it horribly wrong. I apologize to Mauricio Lara because I've been saying all along that this is an easy fight for Josh Warrington. I didn't really know much about Mauricio Lara because, like I said, we didn't really know him. And normally I know all the top fighters in the world, but sometimes you get a fighter that comes out of nowhere. There was another guy, Ismail Barra, I can't remember, I think Ismail Sarah, some whatever his name was, I can't remember his name. Baruso, I think his name was Ismail Baruso, and he fought Kevin Mitchell, and he shocked me. It was a bit like Mauricio Lara, and he shocked everybody. And then actually, Corolla ended up beating Baruso in the end. But Warrington tonight looked really, really flat to me. He was getting caught with a lot of shots, chin up in the air. And Mauricio Lara looked strong. He had a great chin. He kept coming all night. The fight really changed. And you know what? What happened in the fourth round looked like it was going to happen. Josh Warrington, I don't know. He just looked flat. He didn't have that same energy. He didn't have that same snap that he normally has, that same hunger, that desire, that will that Josh Warrington had. Josh Warrington's a very, very tough fighter, very, very tough and very determined type of fighter. But tonight, he just didn't have that sharpness. It wasn't there. I don't know what happened tonight. Josh Warrington is actually a fighter that I like. I've always liked him. I do think he's limited in terms of boxing ability, but I think he's the kind of fighter that's always involved in great epic fights. But here's the problem with his style, guys. That type of style ages you very quickly. When you're taking punishment like Josh Warrington does, and Josh Warrington's got a very good chin, there's only so many times you can go to the well. He had a tough fight with Lee Selby, which he won quite comfortably. He had a tough fight with Carl Frampton. And even Galahad was a toughish fight, although he didn't really take a lot of punishment in that fight. But Josh Warrington's the type of fighter, he takes 2 or 3 to give 1 or 2. And that type of style ages you very quickly. He's sparring like that. He's fighting like that. And listen, I've got massive respect because he showed a lot of heart in there tonight. The fight should have been stopped in the fourth round. Let's be honest. The fight should have been stopped in the fourth round. If the referee, in my opinion, I don't see how, after watching the way that fourth round went and the way Josh Warrington's legs went, I didn't see how Josh Warrington was going to recover, because Josh Warrington's not a boxer. Josh Warrington's not going to get on his back foot and use his jab and box and move. He doesn't fight like that. And that's what he needed to do to beat this guy. And I don't think Josh Warrington's got it in him, or he hasn't shown it in his career that he's got it in him to box and move. And he was going to get knocked out. The way that fourth round went, the way Josh Warrington fights, if you look at the way he was trying to get himself out of trouble, right? He was trying to fight on the inside and take 2 or 3 again, to give 2 or 3. But his legs were gone. After that punch, he didn't recover. He was fighting on heart, because Josh Warrington's got a big heart, right? And the fight was always going to end up... Adam Booth was spot on when he said that the fight should have been stopped. It should have been stopped. The fight should have been stopped. There's no doubt about it. The fight should have been stopped. The fight should have been stopped 100% in the fourth round. Adam Booth was spot on. But by him not stopping the fight, I feel like Josh Warrington took unnecessary punishment. I hope they get Josh Warrington checked out. I hope he gets all the medical checks, because that was a brutal, brutal fight. This guy was taking flush left hooks, like time after time after time. Every round he was taking like 10 flush left hooks, more than that probably. It was a brutal, brutal fight. And I believe Adam Booth, what he said was right. That his dad should have thrown in the towel. He's his trainer. He should have thrown in the towel, because his leg looked gone. And Josh Warrington was also complaining about his shoulder. Sometimes a father can either be compassionate or he can be very hard. And I understand that they're warriors and they want to win. But for me, after the fourth round, he was never going to win that fight. Unless a miracle. Tony Bellew said it would be one of the greatest comebacks in British boxing if he manages to pull this off. You could clearly see he was finished. He was fighting on empty. He was fighting on reserve. He showed immense heart, and the knockout was brutal. It was good that they got oxygen and gave him oxygen. The knockout was horrific, by the way. I do hope that Josh Warrington can recover from this because, like I said, I do like Josh Warrington. And one thing I will say to the fans, please don't troll, right? It's very hard. They're giving us, firstly, he's going out there giving us entertainment in this time. We're in a lockdown, right? And I see on forums, I'm on a lot of Facebook forums and a lot of forums. I'm on Instagram. I've got, you know, people love trolling fighters. Don't do that, man. You know, these fighters are human beings. They go in there, they put their lives on the line for our entertainment. Yes, they get paid. I get that. But trolling, I hate it when people troll fighters, man. You know, it's a very dangerous sport. You saw how bad he was at the end of that fight. He was in a bad way, you know, and he showed so much heart. Really, it should have been taken out of his hands. The referee should have stopped it in the fourth, or his dad should have thrown in the towel. Because, to be honest with you, he was taking a bad beating. That fourth round, his legs were all over the place. And you have to say, what heart Josh Warrington's got. He's got a massive, massive heart. Fair play to the guy. He's got a lot of heart. Let's see how he bounces back. I think the most important thing is firstly to him to go get a checkup, get, you know, everything sorted. And if everything's right, then come back and think about what he's going to do next. I would love to see a rematch in the future. But again, going off this fight, I do think, one thing I will say, I do think Josh Warrington, what he showed me tonight is that he needs the Leeds crowd. And that's why I think against some of the other top fighters the fights that he wanted, right? Chances are those fights wouldn't have happened in Leeds. Those fights would have happened abroad. And he looked flat tonight. Without his crowd, he looked really, really flat. He's given up his belt. He's given up his belt, and now he's been knocked out. It's going to be a long way back. It's going to be a long, long way back. And the way... It's not... You know, I saw Matthew Macklin saying on commentary, this isn't Dillian Whyte Povetkin, isn't? That was one punch. This isn't Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz. This isn't Amir Khan, Bradis Prescott. This was a sustained beating for about 5 or 6 rounds. You could say Joshua Ruiz. Joshua Ruiz, for me, one punch to change the whole fight. But I think that Josh Warrington from the start of this fight didn't look great to me. I didn't think he looked great from the start. I thought he was taking a lot of punishment. He looked flat. He didn't. You could see before the fourth round, you could see that Lara was landing a lot of flush shots. And if a guy's got power and he's landing that many flush shots, it's going to do damage. And Josh Warrington tried to fight his way out of trouble rather than... But that's how he fights. Adam Booth was spot on when he said that's how he fights. You know, he likes to have a scrap, likes to get on the inside and have a real scrap. But against a guy like Lara, who's heavy-handed, who punches quite hard, Josh Warrington probably didn't know that. He probably got shocked when he got caught in the fourth round. But that was a shocking result. That was a shocking result. And I hope Warrington can come back because he is an exciting fighter. That was a brilliant fight, but it was a one-sided fight. The reason why that probably wasn't a good watch is because it was a sustained beating over the rounds. It was this kind of sustained beating. But Josh Warrington's normally involved with fights like that where he has a lot of energy, and normally he drowns you. Josh Warrington's a fighter that drowns you. He literally has so much energy. He has so much pace. He's so hungry. The desire, maybe the fact that he's not fighting in front of his Leeds crowd that sometimes is a big advantage for a lot of fighters. The crowd. And someone like Josh Warrington who thrives and feeds off the crowd, for me, I think that for me was, I won't say that was the reason why he lost the fight, because Lara might beat him again. Because Lara looks like, because Warrington fights that way. I don't think Warrington's going to come out and learn how to jab and move. That's not how Warrington fights, if I'm honest with you. Lara was on the front foot for majority of the fight, and he was hunting Warrington down. He sensed it early on that I can take this guy. This guy's there for the taking. I just don't know. I just don't know why Warrington looked so flat. I didn't understand. Was there something wrong before? Was it just... I don't get it. It didn't look like him. It didn't look like him. He didn't look like him against Galahad, but Galahad's got an awkward style. Lara had a style that would suit someone like Warrington. He had a style, and the way Lara was fighting, that Warrington does well against styles like that. It's more, for me, the boxers and the guys that box and move that would cause Warrington trouble. But really, he's been knocked out by a guy that really was fighting the fight that he's good at. Biting down on the gum shield, you know, taking 1 or 2 shots to give to let a few off his own. And that's how Lara was fighting. He was taking a few shots to give some of his own. But Lara was just stronger. He had the better. He obviously had the better chin. He was taking better shots. He was also probably he had more power in his punches as well, because every time Josh Warrington was getting caught with a left hook, it looked like it was hurting him. Lara didn't get hurt once in that fight. I didn't see Lara hurt once. I do think the body shots of Warrington at times got Lara breathing a little heavy. He got caught with a few body shots that I felt Lara felt, especially early on. But apart from that, the headshots that Lara took, it didn't tittle him. He was tough as nails, that guy. And when I looked at Lara, I looked at him and I thought, Warrington looks quite big compared to Lara. But Lara was as tough as they come. And he was I won't say a huge puncher, but he definitely could punch. And Warrington's not known for being a huge puncher. So I think the fight should have been stopped in the fourth, because Warrington's not a big puncher, right? He's not known for being a big puncher. He's more of a guy that drowns you with volume. You know, and I think his legs were gone. I think his legs were gone. He looked shaky after the fourth round, and I think he just took I think for 4 or 5 rounds he took a sustained beating. After the fourth round, he was just getting beat up. I've had him lose. Andy Clark gave him the 5th round. I never gave him 1 round after the 4th. I think you could probably make a case that Lara won majority of all the rounds, even probably the 1st round. Maybe Warrington nicked it. I think Warrington lost the 2nd, 3rd, 4th. That for me was a beatdown tonight. And I hope Warrington can come back. Listen, Warrington, he's a tough guy. He's a warrior. He's always involved in exciting fights. But I do worry about Josh Warrington's punch resistance moving forward, because a fight like that, Johnny Nelson's right, ages you as a fighter. It ages you. It can really put a lot of miles on the clock. It can affect your punch resistance, right? And that was a brutal fight. You know, that type of fight really, really ages you, right? I hope he can come back from this. I really do hope, because like I said, he's one of the exciting fighters up there. As one of the most exciting fighters, you know, that I've seen in the last 10 years. Very, very exciting fighter. You know, he's one guy that I look forward to watching because of his style. You know, I love watching AJ, Amir Khan over the years. Josh Warrington's another guy that I would say that I love watching because I know I'm guaranteed action. You're not going to be... it's very unlikely that you're not going to be guaranteed action in a Josh Warrington fight. He very rarely is involved in a stinker. The Frampton fight was a great fight. The Selby fight was a good fight. The Galahad was a stinker, but apart from that, you know, Warrington's always been... Tonight was it was a sad watch tonight, because I think I'm with Adam Booth. I think that after the 4th round, the fight should have been called off, because I think he was all over the place. And although a fight like that, there was punches being thrown, punches were landing, exciting to watch, but that was a sustained beatdown. So that's not really exciting to watch. I more like it when it's tick-to-tock action, like Josh Warrington, most of his fights with Frampton, for example. That was back and forth. Frampton was going at him, and then he was going at him. And I thought Warrington dogged Frampton out, and I was like... and I'm just shocked, man. I'm just shocked that Warrington got lost tonight. I was expecting him to blast this guy out in 4 or 5 rounds, and he was the one that got blasted. I can't believe it. I can't believe it, you know? Yeah, I'm just shocked. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. What did you make of Mauricio Lara as a fighter? Am I overlooking? Maybe Mauricio Lara might go on to become world champion. Maybe he's a force in the division. Who knows? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of Josh Warrington's performance. Where do you think Josh Warrington goes next, now that he's not champion and he's been knocked out as well? Do you think Mauricio Lara could go on to become world champion? Leave your thoughts. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.